We are now less than a week away from a rare solar event that has the whole country talking. A total solar eclipse that will move across the entire lower 48 states from the West Coast to the East Coast. NBC's Tom Costello has been talking to eclipse experts.
Get ready to whip out your solar eclipse shades. Eclipse 2017 is now less than a week away. The so-called path of totality, as the moon blocks out the sun, will spread from Salem, Oregon to Charleston, South Carolina at 1,500 miles per hour. But eclipse fever is already spreading fast.
This may be the biggest traffic event that Oregon has ever seen.
Madras, Oregon expects its population of 6,225 will be eclipsed with 100,000 visitors. Already, motels are booked full, and Christina Carpenter is charging up to $1,500 for couples to camp in her farm fields.
It's definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that was handed to this tiny little community.
As the eclipse moves east, Casper, Wyoming also expects 100,000 visitors. Carbondale, Illinois and Hopkinsville, Kentucky will be in the darkness the longest, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. They're hoping for an eclipse tourist boon. The last U.S. city to fade to black, Charleston, South Carolina at 2:46 p.m. It's the stuff that makes astrophysicists geek out, and NASA's Alex Young is already wearing his flaming solar shoes.
When the moon blocks out the sun, daylight becomes nighttime. Bright stars and planets are revealed to us during this moment called totality.
And it only lasts a few minutes.
It only lasts a few minutes.
The last solar eclipse that moved partially across the U.S. was in 1979.
Well, good morning from Goldendale, Washington.
And the Today Show was there.
I'm sorry that we have to wait around until 2017 before we can do that one again.
Fast forward 38 years and the warning remains the same. You'll risk permanent eye damage if you look at the sun without proper eye protection. Even with sunglasses, you should not be looking at the sun.
That's right, because these glasses are made specifically for looking at the sun. They block out 100,000 times more light than regular sunglasses.
And watch out for counterfeits that don't protect you. Legitimate eclipse glasses have an ISO logo, this ISO number 12312-2, and the name of the manufacturer. Tom Costello, NBC News, Greenbelt, Maryland.
And you can count on Channel 2 for all your solar eclipse coverage next week. Our Ryan Korsgaard will be traveling to the University of Missouri at Columbia. You can look for his live reports all day Monday. And a very important warning about making sure that you have the proper eyewear to protect your eyes if you plan on viewing the eclipse. You got a pair of those glasses right here.
We've got a pair of these now. These were given to us from the Houston Astronomical Society when they came in on my podcast to talk about it. So as Tom Costello just mentioned, you want to make sure that little ISO is right at the corner there as well. We've got links to where you can grab those. I know Amazon's had some trouble with some of their stuff that they've, so you just be very careful with that because this can do real permanent damage. So let's talk about some of the safety parts of that as well, starting with the sunglasses, as we mentioned, Andy. So, certainly don't look directly at the sun. I know a lot of folks are going to try to get it on their phones as well. There are specific filters you can use to make sure that that is okay, not only through the solar filter, but of course, if you could do it indirectly with either binoculars or some of the other tips that we have on our page there as well. Now, for us here in Houston locally, it will not be what they call a path of totality. That's going to be up close to where Ryan Korsgaard will be up near Missouri, and then, of course, out towards southern Oregon as well, slicing its way diagonally across the United States. We are going to see it about 66% coverage, so it'll look kind of just like that at about 1:16. So right during most folks' lunch hour, if you want to maybe delay it 30 minutes, I'd do that. Go out around 12:30, and hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, we should be able to get at least some breaks within the clouds. Right now, we're projecting fair visibility